Good morning, class. I hope you did well on your math workshop. Now we're going to review your homework from yesterday, so get it out and let's turn to that page 24. We're looking at page 24 and we're going to go over numbers 1 through 16. Happy Friday. Here we go. Alright, number 1. Hope you're being good for Mr. Burson. Number 1. First thing I'm going to do, I want to differentiate, find the derivative of number 1. Well, first thing I'm going to do, since there's a variable in the denominator, I'm going to rewrite that as y equals 5 over 2 x to the negative second, okay? So therefore, it's going to be y prime equals negative 2 times 5 halves would be negative 10 over 2, which will be negative 5. X minus 1, that would be negative 3. Now I'm going to rewrite that as y prime equals negative 5 over x cubed. And that is my answer. Alright guys, let's look at number 2. Remember, you can stop the video at any time and pause. Number 2, y equals 1 over x to the 5th. I'm going to rewrite that as y equals x to the negative 5th, because I have a variable in the denominator. Okay, I'm going to bring this down and times it by this. So y prime equals negative 5 times 1 is negative 5. X minus 1 is negative 6. Alright, now I'm going to finalize this. Y prime equals negative 5 over x to the 6. Alright, number 3, we have no variables or radicals. We have no variables in the denominator and no radicals, so we don't need to rewrite it. We just need to find the derivative. G prime of x equals 2 times 1 is 2, x, take 1 off that leaves 1, 3 times 4 is 12, x squared. And that is my derivative for that function. aka slope generator for tangent lines. Number 4, f prime of t. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. 2 minus 1 is t. Okay, 1 times 3 is 3. 1 minus 1 is 0, so I don't put a variable, and that's a constant, so I do not worry about that, because the derivative of constants are 0. Number 5, I don't have to worry about rewriting any radicals or any variables in the denominator, so I'm ready to find the derivative. Y prime, that is a constant number, is just equal to 0. Number 6, I have a radical and I have a variable in the denominator, so yes, I do need to rewrite it. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite this as y equals x to the 1/2. And then this will be x to the negative 1. Alright, so that's x to the 1/2 and x to the negative 1. Now, since these are side by side, that's multiplying, you can add your exponents. 1/2 plus negative 1 is negative 1/2. Now, I'm ready to find the derivative. Y prime equals negative 1/2 times x is negative 1/2. X minus 1, that would be negative 3/2. Finalize it. Y prime equals negative 1. Since it's negative, it's going to go in the denominator. That's the square root, and this will be cubed. So it's negative 1 over 2 square root of x cubed. Remember, this is the power, that is the root. That is your final answer. Remember, I'll be back Monday. If you have any question on any of these, just star them and I can explain them more on Monday. Number 7, I have no variable in the denominator. I do not have any radicals, so I do not need to rewrite it. So I'm just going to find the derivative. Y prime equals, that's going to be 2x minus, okay, remember, when you're dealing with trig functions, you just find the derivative of the sine or cosine. This is cosine, and the derivative of cosine is negative sine. Alright, so my final answer would be 2x, a negative times a negative is a positive 1/2 sine x. Okay, number 8, I do have a radical, so I need to rewrite that as f of x equals the power is 1, the root is 5, so it's x to the 1/5. Now I'm going to find the derivative, f prime of x. 1/5 times 1 is 1/5. 1/5 minus 1 is negative 4/5. Now I need to rewrite that before I submit my final answer. So f prime of x equals, I'm going to put that in the denominator because it's a negative exponent. This is your root, so this will be 5. I'm sorry, that's a bad little 5 right there, but that's a 5. X to the 4th. So I'm going to write it better up here. Okay. Number 9, I do have a variable in the denominator, so I need to rewrite that, okay? Now, hold on. We need to, first of all, cube everything. So 5 cubed is 125, x cubed. Now I need to rewrite it. Y equals 6 over 125, x to the negative 3. Now, negative 3 times this, y prime equals negative 18 over 125, x, negative 3 minus 1 is negative 4. So y prime equals negative 18 over 125, x to the 4th. I'm going to put that in the denominator. Let's make sure we can simplify that. No. That is your answer. Alright, number 10, there's no variable in the denominator and there's no radical, so I do not need to rewrite this. I'm just going to go f prime of x. The derivative of x is 1, and that's it. That's a constant. That would be 0, so that's done. That's your derivative. Number 11, there's no variable in the denominator and there's no radical, so I do not need to rewrite that. So s prime of t equals, derivative of that's 3t squared plus 10t to the first 2 minus 1. The derivative of just t is 1, so negative 3 times 1 is negative 3, because 1 times negative 3, 1 minus 1 is 0, and then plus 8 is 0, so that is your derivative. Alright, number 12. I do have a variable in the denominator. That should be an alert for you. So I'm going to rewrite that as y equals 4x to the 3rd power. It was negative here, so when it comes up to the numerator is positive. Now find the derivative. Y prime equals 3 times 4 is 12, x squared. Number 13, I do not have a variable in the denominator and I do not have radicals. So what I'm going to do is just find the derivative. Y prime equals 7 times 1 is 7, x to the 6. Number 14, I have two terms here and here. First of all, that x in the denominator is catching my attention, so I'm going to rewrite that as x to the negative 1 minus 3 sine of x. Now, I'm going to find the derivative of this and the derivative of that. So y equals negative 1 times 1 is negative 1x, minus 1 is negative 2, minus 3. When you have a trig, you only find the derivative of this trig part. The derivative of sine is cosine. Let's clean it up. Y prime equals negative 1 over x squared minus 3 cosine x would be my answer. Number 15, I have no variables in the denominator and I do not have any radicals, so there's no need to rewrite this one. So what you would do is just go y equals, find the derivative of this, and derivative of that is going to be pi over 2 cosine, the derivative of sine is cosine, minus derivative of cosine is negative sine. That's a double negative. So my final answer will be y prime equals pi over 2 cosine x plus sine of x. Remember, you need to stop the video. You can anytime. Sorry, you could see that. Or you can star the problem and I can go back over it on Monday as well. Number 16. I do have a variable in the denominator that catches my attention, so I'm going to say g of x equals pi. Remember, pi is a number, not a variable. I'm going to cube all this. It's going to be 27x cubed. Now I'm going to rewrite this as g of x equals pi over 27 x to the negative 3. I'm going to bring this down. Negative 3 times all this equals negative 3 pi over 27 x minus 1. That's going to be negative 4. Now I can reduce this fraction as negative pi over 9 x to the negative 4, and then the final answer, g of prime of x, the derivative, would be negative pi over 9x to the 4. If I took that and put it in the denominator so I wouldn't have a negative exponent. So that would be negative pi over 9x to the 4th. Okay. Like I said, star any or circle any that you need me to explain. I will post this video later this weekend. What you're about to work on now is your next assignment that continues to review these type of problems. Just remember, guys, if a variable is in the denominator or you have a radical, you need to rewrite it before you start finding the derivative. Okay? If it doesn't have those cases, then you just start finding derivative. Hope everybody has a great Friday and a great weekend, and I will see you on Monday. Make sure if you don't finish the next assignment, you do finish it for homework. See you Monday.